Hello friends, welcome to Chardonnay night. Okay, I just decided I'm gonna have you watch me open this wine. So I have some tricks to show you. Okay, obviously, who cares how you open the wine, right? But if by chance you do care, or let's say you work in a restaurant and you want to do this right, okay? This is what I use. Everyone has their own little tool that they like. I can't even operate the tool at my parents' house. I don't know what that thing is called, but it's very elaborate. So this is called a waiter's friend. Okay? So what you want to do if you're working in a restaurant, you don't want to leave it on the table if you can avoid it. But if you are just doing this at your house, what you want to do is reach your hand all the way around, and what you're looking for is this lip right here, right? Okay, so you cut hard all the way around. Okay, you cut hard all the way around, and then you make a nice slit along the side and across the middle like this. Okay, then you just take your little wine knife and you should be able to just stick it in your pocket, okay? That's perfect. Now the reason you want the wine to be away from the cork is because you don't want any of those germs to go in your wine. And I think that's kind of an old thing, but that's the proper way to do it. Then you get your little corkscrew out. And these are like $9, or if you work in a restaurant, you guaranteed get these free. I think they're the easiest, and plus if you lose them or keep them in your purse when you go to the airport and get them confiscated like I do, who cares? They're $9. Okay, then you go to off center of the cork. Okay, so not straight in the middle, you go a little off center and twist this baby in. Okay, until you have just like a half a twist left. Then you put it on the first knuckle, pull it out as far as you can, go to the second knuckle and pull it almost all the way out. And usually the cork is long enough that you can't get it all the way out this time, and you don't want to break off the end. So this is when you grab the whole thing and just give it a little twist, right? Take the cork off. Put this in your pocket. If you are a server or bartender, you can give this to the guest if you want. Now, you remember a lot back in the 80s or whatever when people would smell the cork. We don't do that anymore. It's stupid because all you can tell from the cork and all you're looking for is if the cork is crumbly. You know, this is in perfect shape. So that is the first thing that we're looking for. And the second thing that I'm looking for is there any mold on the cork? And there's not. So I'm going to assume this is a good bottle of wine, but that's why you look at the cork. You're only looking for those two things. You don't smell the cork anymore. But if you are a server, a lot of times you would give the cork back to a person if, for example, if I ordered this whole bottle of wine for myself, which I may or may not drink. But in most states, including in Minnesota, you can take a bottle of wine home if you don't finish it. And a lot of restaurants don't even know that this is the rule, but they should, because it's great for the restaurant. They have no waste this way. And it's great for the customer because oftentimes you are getting at least one glass free if you buy the bottle versus 3 glasses or whatever. If you order the bottle, there's usually a price discount. There's for a 6-ounce pour, which is a general restaurant pour, there's 4.5 glasses per bottle. So restaurant math is such that you would give them about a glass free if they get a bottle. So that makes sense. And also, you're guaranteed that your wine is fresh. It hasn't been sitting on the shelf for a long time. And you know it's going to be delicious because you just watched the cork be pulled out. And you don't have to worry about, for me, I'm a 2 drink max if I hope to get home. And I don't even like driving after one. So if there's a bottle of wine that I really want, or I'm digging this wine so much, I'll order a bottle just because I want to take this wine home and drink it tomorrow and the next day. You know, whether it's white or red, just put it in the fridge and drink it over the next couple days. But getting a bottle is always a smart choice, just so you know, if it's something that you like. Okay, here's another little trick. Now, I have been drinking red wine. Oh my gosh, look at all the lipstick on my glass. Okay, if I'm gonna switch to a different color wine, see, I'm switching to a white wine, this Chardonnay. What I wanna do, let's see, I'll get rid of that wine. And then I don't rinse it with water. No. You always rinse it with the new wine. So you go like this. Give it just a couple drips of your new wine, swish it around, and dump it out, okay? If you are drinking something super expensive too, that's also a good idea. It's called seasoning the glass, because you definitely don't want any chemicals or any bleach or whatever to get in the way of your delicious wine. So there we go. I just got rid of my red wine with my white wine. And now I'm gonna switch to a white. There we go. Some little fun facts that we know when we work at a restaurant. Okay, we're gonna do this tasting kind of quick since we already spent time on what we just did. And I wanna talk a little bit about oak. Okay, so let's do this tasting. Let's first identify what grape are we drinking. We are drinking Chardonnay. Where is the Chardonnay from? All right. Our Chardonnay that we're drinking tonight is French. This Macon. So it's white Burgundy. Okay, so we're swirling this around. Now, quiz. What would this be if the wine was red? What grape would it be? Pinot Noir, correct. If it's red and it's a Burgundy, it's Pinot Noir. If it's white and it's a Burgundy, it's a Chardonnay, okay? So swirl this baby around and we are gonna smell it. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Okay, now Chardonnay is known as winemaker's putty or the winemaker's wine because it's kind of a clean slate. And that's why I chose a Burgundy, is because it's a very pure form of Chardonnay. It hasn't been messed with very much. It hasn't been manipulated. It doesn't have the fermentation that's going to make it buttery. It doesn't have American oak aging. It's a more pure form. So that's why we're trying this French Chardonnay. We're going to talk more about Chardonnays from other countries too. But what do you smell? If you are drinking a French Chardonnay, which is this one, you might get some citrus. Now, I always smell lemons with a Chardonnay, no matter where it's from. Lemon all day for me. A lot of people identify green apple, and especially in New World wines, it could get a little tropical. So what a lot of people spot with a New World wine, meaning like California or Oregon or Chile, New Zealand, a lot of times they'll smell pineapple, which I guess I can kind of see even a little bit in this one. But the primary aroma that I always smell is lemon. So give it a good sniff and think about it. This is actually a really good wine for the price, and I'm getting a lot of different aromas, so I'm really happy that this is the Chardonnay that I picked for this because it's a great example. Okay, what do you smell, friends? Dig deep. It's really subtle when it's from Burgundy. And like I said, that's why this is the perfect wine for a winemaker that really wants to get in there and do their stuff, because you can make a Chardonnay into a lot of different things. It's a kind of a clean slate. Okay, so the aromas that I'm smelling are, I guess I can get a little bit of that pineapple. I can get behind that, but for me, I am thinking like a green apple. I would totally agree with that. And lemons, like a fresh lemon for me. The next thing we want to do is we're going to taste it, and we're going to think about the body. We're going to think about the oak. We are going to consider if it has tannin. Now, does it have tannin? This is a white wine. No, white wines don't have tannin. We know this. God, we're getting so good at this. I'm very proud of you. The body of the wine, light body, medium, full body, and anything else, any spices, any flowers, any mineral, earthy, does it remind you of anything? Dig deep. Let's get good at this. And also, when you're tasting this, instead of just saying lemon, let's try to take it a step further. Okay, this is like total nerd zone right now. Let's say, is it a fresh lemon? Is it a Myers lemon? Is it like overripe lemon? Or some people say like, oh, is it like a chemically, like a manufactured lemon smell, like lemon pledge? What exactly are you smelling? Apple. What kind of apple? For me, I smell a green apple. Dig deep. That is how you really are pushing yourself to get better at tasting. Are you going to do this when you're out at a restaurant? No, but here we are. You better believe it. Nerd Central. Okay, let's go. And then let's taste. Ooh, that's good. Okay, go again if you want. Okay, in addition to the aromas that you smelled, did anything change for you? For me, this wine is extremely high in acid. So when I think of apple, I'm thinking of just like the tartest apple I can imagine. Partially, I think because I just pulled this straight out of the fridge, and a Chardonnay is a wine that you don't want to have ice cold. It is meant to be served a little warmer. So if you're out at a restaurant or whatever, don't keep this in a chiller, and don't pull it right out of your super cold fridge. Let it set out for a second and warm up. Chardonnay will really benefit from being a little warmer, especially in the taste. The acidity is enhanced, which for some wines is really good, but for this Burgundy, it already is high in acidity. So with that acidity being enhanced, it's so tart, it's really acidic. Okay, what do you think that the body of this wine is? Okay, Chardonnay, I did not sound smart. A Chardonnay is a full-bodied white. You'll notice this more if you are drinking like a California or a warmer climate Chardonnay, but you'll feel even this Burgundy and made in a cold climate, how it just covers your whole mouth. It's mouth coating, more like a whole milk. It's a full-bodied white. That's good. Okay, now, is it complex or simple? And let's consider the finish. Okay, go ahead. You are thinking about, is this a complex or simple wine? Is the finish long and lingering, or is it short and sweet? Is it sweet? I shouldn't have said short and sweet. Or is it short, period? Is it sweet, or is it dry? Now for me, this wine, it has got some nice fruit, but there's a lot going on. It's got a little mineral to it. I think that it is a medium finish, but definitely dry. If you're drinking the same one I am, or anything from France, I can assure you it's dry. And actually, I can't think of a Chardonnay anywhere in the world that is made sweet. So hopefully you answered dry. Even if it's a fruity wine, it's a dry finish. Okay? Now, what else do we want to talk about? If you want to try more Chardonnays, they're easy to find. Chardonnay is the most planted white grape that there is. And if you want to try one from other regions, New York, Washington State, California, Oregon are all U.S. States that grow amazing Chardonnay. Australia, Argentina, Chile, New Zealand. Chile and New Zealand are going to have a little more a style like this. They never oak age their Chardonnays, and they try to make it more French style. But if you like a French Chardonnay, or you're digging this one, but you want to get even more into it, try a Chablis. Chablis is like it's like the Chardonnay, you know, the pimp, right? It's made in France. It's always gonna be Chardonnay. A white Burgundy, as we talked about, is always gonna be Chardonnay. In Champagne, one of the main grapes in Champagne is Chardonnay. And if you ever see on the label where it says Blanc de Blanc, and it's a French Champagne, it's all Chardonnay. So that's good to know. And then also I would encourage you to give it a go in Italy. They have got some amazing, you must know from all these classes that Italy is one of the wines that I love the most. I just feel like they're undervalued and the quality is so good, and it's just like winemaker's paradise. Okay, now the reason I chose this Burgundy versus like a California Chardonnay is because we're all familiar with what a California Chardonnay is like, and a lot of times the two flavors that you associate with a Chardonnay are oak and butter. And that is because not from the grape. As we just discovered with our Burgundy, we didn't taste any oak, and we certainly didn't taste any butter. The reason that you get those two flavors is because of the winemaking techniques that they're using. Now, in France, they want it to be the purest expression, so they don't use oak aging the way that we do in California and the United States. And they also don't do a lot of manipulation to the wine. Whereas in specifically California, they could age it in American oak, and that's going to give it that toasty flavor, or it can make your wine taste kind of like that vanilla. You'll taste that a lot of times with a Cabernet, like vanilla. Sometimes you get a dill, but that toasty oak, and you can really smell an oak, American oak wine. It smells like, you walk into a new house that just put new floors in. You're like, yeah, that's the smell. Some people just love it. And that is kind of what put California Chardonnay on the map, and Australia. But I'm happy to report that all those countries, and including ours, are pulling back a little bit on how much oak they use. That's kind of a early 90s way of making wine. And a lot of Chardonnays are becoming more restrained, and they're a little more even-handed on their use of oak. So they're becoming a little better balanced. And, you can still certainly find a super oaky, buttery Chardonnay, which a lot of people love, like a big fat Rombauer. But the style that is kind of moving forward as the new great Chardonnay is just going to be a slightly more restrained version of that. So enjoy your Chardonnay and find the one that is right for you. Keep in mind the flavor profile and see what is different when you go from old world to new world. Cheers. We'll see you next.